If you're looking to help your Jeep stand out from the crowd, then this is the kit for you. This is a matching 7-inch headlight and 4-inch fog light kit that gives the front end of your Jeep a unique look, gives you lots of customizability and better lighting output for a really great price. Just a quick note on fitment before we dive in. This kit is designed to work on 1976 to 1986 CJ7 Wranglers, as well as 1997 to 2018 TJ and JK Wranglers. Replacing your Wrangler's headlights is an easy way to update the front end and give it some more personality. Especially as compared to the standard factory halogens, these will give you lots more output. With 2 large LED projectors, one for the low beam and one for the high beam, these will throw a much wider beam pattern with a brighter, cooler light temperature and a sharp cutoff. The low beams put out 6,000 lumens and the high beams put out 10,000 lumens with a 6,000 K temperature light. On the outer edges, you get yet more LEDs, these vertical bars that function as running lights, and it helps give these a modern appearance. The fog lights are also going to match those LED elements with their tri-bar vertical lights and the same color temperature. These also put out about 6,000 lumens of light, so they're way brighter than what your Jeep would have come with from the factory. However, the big ticket item here are the halo rings that surround both the headlights and the fog lights. These match and they are RGB, so they can be set to pretty much any color you want, and you can also choose from 180 different light modes and patterns. You can have these respond to music or voice to spruce up a campsite or a car show, and the entire thing is controlled via an app. When you're out on the road, these will also function as turn signal repeaters, so they will light up amber when you signal. And really, these add a whole new level of customization, and you can change them up whenever the mood strikes you, which is also just fun and cool. The outer housings of the lights are made from powder-coated black aluminum, and they have integrated heat sinks here to help keep the electronics inside safe and cool. The lenses, those are polycarbonate just like you'd find on any other headlight. The LEDs inside have a 50,000 plus hour lifespan, and everything is IP67 waterproof rated, so they should last you a good long time. Pricing comes in at about $325, which for a kit that includes both headlights and fog lights, plus all that customizability, well, I'd say that is a really good price. There is a lot to like here and they don't cost you a ton, so they're definitely a win in my book. Installation gets a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now there is a bit of wiring to complete to get everything to work properly, but it's not really all that complicated. For the most part, these are really just gonna plug and play, and everything is also pretty nicely labeled for you too. We're also gonna walk you through the entire installation process right now, so for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you will need a ratchet, 3/8 inch adapter if necessary, 8mm socket, 10mm wrench, Phillips head screwdriver or Phillips head bit, wire strippers and crimpers, clip removal tool, and not included with your kit but will be required for the way we did ours, a fuse tap, female and male spade connectors, and or T-tabs. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some headlights on our Wrangler, so let's get started. Alrighty guys, so to get started we need to remove our front grille to access our mounting hardware for our headlight, and the top of our grille is held on by some push clips, so we've got our clip removal tool. We're going to pop those out first. Now that we have those top clips out, we can pull our grille forward. The bottom is held in by some locators. Ours are pretty worn out, but you kind of want to just give them a little bit of a push from the back and they should pop right out. And once we have those out, we're going to need to disconnect our fog lights. Just push in on the connectors. Pop those out, we can set our grille aside. Now that we have our grille out of the way, we can access our mounting hardware for our headlights. We've got 4 Phillips head screws holding this in. We'll grab our Phillips head bit. You can also use a Phillips head screwdriver. Run these out. Try not to drop them. As you get your last one out, you want to support your headlight. we have our headlight out, we can unplug it, release that tab. Next, we're going to need to remove our factory fog lights. So we're going to reach back behind our front bumper and unplug it first. So we'll reach the connector, push down on the tab, unplug that. Now this will be held in by some 8mm screws back in here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but once you feel around the outside of it, you will be able to feel those screws. So we've got our 8mm socket on our ratchet. Get those out. Just kind of go by feel and line this up. Get those out of the way. Pull our fog light out. Now once you have this side out, you can do the same thing for the other side. Alrighty guys, now before we can install our new headlights, we need to install our wiring for our RGB setup. Now this comes with a side that goes to a power source, and then the other side hooks up to the various lights that we're going to install, i.e. our headlights and fog lights. First we need to connect the power side. Now this does come with some ring terminals on it, however, you have a multitude of options on how to hook this up, how you want it to activate, which lights you want it to come on with or off with. We're going to go with our parking lamp circuit just because it makes it easy. You turn your DRLs on and this will start working. You turn them off, it won't drain your battery, drain your power while the vehicle is off. So what we're going to do is come to our fuse block right in front of our battery. We're going to remove that cover. This does just pop all the way off. Then for us, we're going to be looking for a fuse M17. That's going to be this 15 amp down in here next to one of our relays. We do have our factory fuse puller. We're going to pull that fuse out. We're going to hold on to this. Set your fuse puller back in its spot. Now for our positive wire, we do have a fuse tab hooked up to it, which does not come with this kit. You will need to cut the factory ring terminal off of this harness and crimp this butt connector on. Now these are readily available at any auto parts store for a couple bucks for a pack, and they are nice and convenient because you can just tap right into a certain fuse. So we're going to take that factory fuse we just pulled out and add it into the open slot on our fuse tab. I'm going to plug that right in to where that fuse came out, just like so. I'm going to tuck this wiring off to the side. And we can reattach our lid. So that just hooks back on to the little hinges. Pop that back down. Now if you want, you can trim out a notch in the lid of your fuse box in order for this to sit more flush. For demonstration purposes, we're not going to cut our lid up. Then you also have a ground side, which has an open-end ring terminal. We're going to go right to the body ground that is next to our fuse block. So for that, we'll need a 10mm wrench. So now we're going to loosen up the 10mm nut on our body ground. And once that gets loose enough, we'll slide the terminal onto it. Make sure that is seated nicely on that stud. And we'll tighten that nut back up. Now for your module itself, you can mount this out of the way however you'd like it, or you can just slide it right into this open spot next to your intake boot. Really just want it out of the way. Tuck that down in there for now. Again, you can feel free to make this your own and tuck it up and clean it up however you want. Now that we've got that in the engine bay, we will take our headlight and fog light connectors and route them down where they need to go. Alrighty guys, so for each headlight and fog light, you're going to have your own separate connector. Now the red connectors are going to go to your fog lights and the black ones are going to go to your headlights. So we need to route our red connectors down to our fog light area and our black ones into our headlight bucket area. So we're going to take red connector wire And the most important thing is to keep this out of the way of any hot or moving parts. That's going to damage your harness. So we can tuck this down behind, reach through. Now we're not going to come through the headlight area. This is just to help us guide it. Keep this behind it and out of the way. Bring that down. These are also labeled left and right, so you have to picture that from sitting in the driver's seat. Left is going to be the driver's side, right is going to be the passenger side. Just bring that down. We'll just drop this in this general area for now. We'll do the same thing for our other fog light wire. That one through. Spin. Drop that into our fog light area. Then we'll get our headlight wires run. So for our driver's side headlight, you can really do this any kind of way you want. It just has to get into the driver's side headlight bucket area. We're gonna run ours right along top. Just to make things easy, again, feel free to make this your own. Tuck it up however you'd like. As long as it gets into this opening. We're gonna wait until we have everything in place to take care of the excess wiring. Now we'll do the same thing for our passenger headlight. Alrighty guys, so now it's time to install our fog lights. Now one thing to note is these do not come with a factory style connector. So traditionally you would cut the factory connector off of the vehicle side and wire this new connector in, and then you'll have the same abilities as your factory one. You can unplug these once they're connected, just like so. This would go onto the vehicle. However, for demonstration purposes, we are going to tap into our current setup without cutting our factory connector, which also, if you did this at home, would give you the ability to go back to stock if you ever wish to do so. So just something to keep in mind. So we're gonna get our male spade connectors onto this harness. We already have some females on our factory side, so we're gonna utilize those. Now, as you can see, we have our factory fog light connector and we have our taps already ran off of our factory harness from previous installs. So we're gonna grab our female spade connectors and put those onto our new harness. Now these do come pre-stripped, so we'll get these lined up. Goes into our connectors. Easier said than done sometimes. Set that in place. And then we'll take our crimpers. Give that a nice solid crimp. I like to give them a little tug afterwards to make sure that connection's secure. We'll do the same thing for our red wire. Now that we have those on, tap into our factory harness. Now our red wire is going to go to our factory white and orange, and our black is going to go to our black. Have that in place, we can install our fog light. So now we can get our fog light in place. Remember, you want your locators to be up top. That's going to go right into the factory mounting position. Once we get that on, we'll hold it in place, reinstall our screws. Get them both in hand tight first. Tighten it down with our 8mm socket. Now once we have this installed, we can plug it all in. Get our new style connector plugged in, as well as our RGB control connector. That is going to go to the smaller red connector. Now there is a locator dowel inside of both of these. You need to line up. Then you want to screw down the top of this connector. Alright guys, so now we can plug in our headlight. So we do need to add in our adapter harness from our headlight to our factory connector. So we're just going to grab that. It plugs in right to the headlight. Now these are pretty stiff the first time you plug them in, so you want to be gentle. And we can get our adapter connector plugged into our factory vehicle side connector and lock in that safety tab. We're going to plug in our RGB setup. We'll line that dowel up. And screw in that weather seal connector. Now you want to place this in with the lettering up top. It's got DOT SAE. Make sure you tuck your excess wiring back. Line it up with your factory notches. We're going to reuse our factory bezel. Get this lined up. Now that we have this lined up, we can reinstall our factory screws. We'll take our Phillips head screwdriver, get these back into place. And this does get a little tricky holding it with just your two hands, so if you have an extra set of hands, help you hold the headlight, that is nice, but you can do it by yourself. We'll get our last one in. Now once you have this side in, you can do the same thing for the other side. Now once you have everything in place, you can tuck or clean up your excess wiring however you see fit, kind of make it your own. Again, just make sure it's out of the way of any hot or moving parts. Other than that, feel free to do your own thing. And we'll reinstall our grill, so we'll get this in place, plug back in our running lights, make sure to lock those tabs back on. We'll line up our lower locators, get the top of our grill set on. And you just want to give this a little push, lock all your tabs back in place, then we'll reinstall our push pins up top. Get these back in, just pop those in, push that center down. Good to go. Now this RGB setup is controlled through an app on your phone that you will need to download along with installing this kit. Your kit comes with a handbook with a QR code, whether for iOS or Android. You'll need to download that, and then we'll walk you through the functions of how that works and the different modes and functionalities of our light setup. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our 7-inch RGB LED headlights with 4-inch fog lights and black housings and clear lenses for your 76 to 86 Jeep CJ7 and 97 to 18 Jeep Wrangler TJ and JK. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.